A familiar face will be taking the stage for the first debate in Virginia's race for governor Thursday. Democrat Terry McAuliffe is running for his second term in office. He served as the state's governor from 2014 to 2018 before being term limited. McAuliffe will face off against Republican Glenn Youngkin. If elected, he will be the state's first GOP governor since 2014. The candidates will be taking the stage just one day before early voting is set to begin in the state. Abortion rights, tax cuts, and coronavirus vaccines have been key issues in the campaign. Charlotte Renee Woods joins me now with more. She's a local and state government reporter for the journalism nonprofit Charlottesville Tomorrow. Welcome to you. There is a debate about how some are characterizing this race as close, and polling seems to indicate that's the case. How would you characterize the state of this race?
Yeah, recent polling is indicating that it is really close. And Virginia also is an off-year election state, so it falls kind of sandwiched between a presidential election and midterms. It kind of is seen as a lot of a bellwether. Also, in recent years, Virginia Virginia has been shifting blue. It's had a bit of a blue wave happening. And similarly to how after Donald Trump's win in 2016, it drove a lot of Democratic turnout at the polls, Biden's win in 2020 could also have a similar effect on Republicans. Additionally, Youngkin has a political action committee that is bolstering funding for GOP candidates around the state. I think it's important to note that this election isn't just about who's at the helm of the state. It's also the state, an entire chamber of the state's legislative body. All 100 seats from the House of Delegates are up for election. Right now, the Democrats have a 55-45 lead, and a lot of these districts have been flipped, left and right in the recent years. So you're kind of seeing this kind of sandwich of an election. You're seeing this push and pull for how red or blue Virginia is, because right now it's kind of purple going on indigo. And then you're seeing this incumbent and this newcomer face off.
Yeah, no, it's a really important point because it's just been so fascinating to watch, Charlotte, sort of the way in which this dynamic, right, has shifted in Virginia. I mean, you think about the history of Virginia and the idea that the demographics have really shifted tremendously. And people have talked about how it's so different when you talk about Northern Virginia versus the southern part of the state. And I don't think people realize just how vast the state of Virginia really is. So very different kind of political atmospheres, right, depending on where you are. So the two nominees traded tweets on the pandemic after McAuliffe announced his Virginia is for vaccine lovers plan. Now, Youngkin says getting vaccinated should be a matter of choice. How much does COVID factor into this race?
As of today, nearly 60% of Virginia is vaccinated. The CDC also has been coming out and saying that majority of cases that are happening still with COVID are in unvaccinated individuals. There have been breakthrough cases, so the people who are in that category, it tends to be a more mild case of COVID. We've seen in the last year this public health crisis become really politicized, and so here we have two candidates that do agree on getting vaccinated. They do encourage it, but you've got one who's pushing for mask and vaccine mandates, and you've got another one saying, I think you should do this, but it's ultimately your choice. So I think it will feature pretty heavily in the next month ahead of us. As you said, early voting does start this Friday, and the official election day is November 2nd. And I think right now, obviously, you've got your candidates kind of locking down their party line votes and then really just trying to grab everyone in this funnel of the middle who is still weighing their options and figuring out which specific policy points and issues they care about.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Youngkin and McAuliffe will face off in their first of two debates on Thursday. Charlotte, what are you looking out for on Thursday?
The continued sparring about COVID-19, but I also see the economy really factoring in pretty heavily in these upcoming discussions. We've certainly seen the impact in the past year has had on the economy and employment. I mean, McAuliffe has, largely been following like the Democratic push for raising minimum wage. He supports childcare access, and he definitely plans to build on Governor Northam's G3 plan, which deals with workforce development and training. And similarly to G3, Youngkin's Virginia Ready initiative has bolstered workforce training and placement. After forming that nonprofit with his wife during the pandemic, he told me that it's a part of what inspired him to run for governor. Other economic plans that he's rolled out recently include eliminating grocery tax, using a projected budget surplus in the state to issue a one-time tax rebate to Virginians. I think where the candidates are going to diverge, but also maybe even intersect, is going to be on economic development and recovery in the state. And then we see these national conversations trickling in, like abortion access, police reform, and you can see where the candidates, you can see that McAuliffe has always been steadfastly pro-choice. During his first time as governor, he had a largely Republican legislature, and he vetoed a lot of legislation that would have reduced or restricted access to abortions. And then on the flip side, you see Youngkin has been saying that he is pro-life. And then in terms of law enforcement, you see where those candidates diverge on, how much funding they want to allocate, what transparency they want to build and trust between law enforcement and civilians. I know recently Youngkin had an ad against McAuliffe with sheriffs expressing support for Youngkin, and then McAuliffe is calling for more body cameras. So I think some of these national things will trickle into the state discussion.
Right, as we saw happen in the California recall election. I mean, analysts were pointing out how what's happened in Texas with the abortion law there was very much something that seemed to be, for them, an animating feature for some parts of the Democratic base. Very quickly here, Vice President Kamala Harris attended a fundraiser for McAuliffe on Tuesday. She said that every 4 years, the state's gubernatorial race is, quote, the most hotly contested, adding that what happens in Virginia will impact what happens in the rest of the country. Charlotte, is that a fair characterization?
I think so. This wasn't her first time actually campaigning in Virginia. I was there in 2017 when she was stumping for our Democratic gubernatorial ticket. I think a lot of people in the political world are very aware that Virginia and New Jersey are two states that have off-year elections. And we know what happens. A lot of candidates, especially when you're looking at state candidates versus local candidates, they do tend to follow under the national umbrella of what is happening within the Democratic and Republican Party. And so I think it's a fair characterization that the rest of the country should really keep an eye on what's happening in Virginia right now.
All right, Charlotte Renee Woods, happy debate night, Charlotte. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.